This lesson is on finding text inside of other text. You can see I've made a note here that I've created a team of 6 members: Steve, Tori, Jane, Judy, Mary, and John. And I'm going to try to look for them in the list. There's actually an array contained inside the PHP program that I'll show you in a moment. But let's put in a name. Tori. And I found Tori. Let's go back. I can put in a partial name. I can say, just Y. So I get Tori, Judy, Mary. They all have a Y in them. Let's go back. I'll put in J. Jane, Judy, John. Now notice that I put in a lowercase j, but we returned the ones with an uppercase J. I'm going to show you how to do that. It's a case-insensitive search, and there's a PHP function that'll help you with that. So let's go look at the code. Over here is just the HTML, where I have find_name is the text that I entered that I wanted to search for in the list. Let's go to the PHP program now. I'll start up here at the top, and I'll show you I've set up an empty array, and then I populated it one element at a time. But I put it in an interesting way. I put the person's name, space, hyphen, space, and then the position name that they played. Tori's second base, Steve shortstop, etc. And notice here in a couple of the elements, I've got a colon in front of the hyphen, so it's kind of inconsistent formatting. So I need to massage this data a bit before we really look for a match. I need to get rid of all this stuff about their position, and I need to get rid of this colon. So let's go ahead and look at how we do all that. So I'm going to come down here. Here we get the post and we get the find name into the variable. Now, first thing I want to do is check and make sure that it's not empty, because if it's empty, I don't need to look for anything. So come down here, and I'm going to use the for each construct on the array and return each element as $member. So the first thing I want to do is get rid of that colon. So I'm going to introduce the first PHP function I want to show you here. This is a string replace, spelled str_replace. So it's formatted a little bit different. The string that you want to look at is specified as the third parameter in here. So we're looking at $member, and we're saying look for a colon. You put the thing you want to look for between either single quotes or double quotes. Look for colon and replace it with an empty string. There's no space even in here. It's just tick, tick right after one another. So it'll essentially collapse the colon so that there's nothing where the colon was, not even a space. Now, it doesn't change $member in place. Instead, it returns a string that's been formatted. So I call that $member formatted. Now that I have $member formatted without that colon in it, I want to search for where the hyphen is. Now the hyphen, let's go back and look a little bit. The hyphen here after the name. I want to get that position and then remove everything after that from the hyphen on. I want it all just to go away. So that's where I'm heading with this. Let's go down. So here I do the next PHP function I want to show you, which is a function that looks for the position in the string of another string. So here's the string we're looking for, the hyphen. And this roughly translates as string, look for the position, and with the I in the middle there, that makes it case-insensitive search. So it doesn't matter if it finds something with an upper or lower case. In this case with the hyphen, it really doesn't make a difference, but later when we look at letters, it will. So we're looking at the member formatted now, doesn't have the colon in it, looking for that hyphen. And what it will return over here is the position that it found it in, if it finds it. Now the weird thing about this function is, if it doesn't find it, it returns false. Not like might happen in some other language. It actually returns false. So it's either going to be a number or it's going to be this Boolean false. So what we have to do here is a little bit strange. We have to use 3 equal signs to compare against this false. And the reason for this is, if we find our string in the first position, that's actually 0. And 0 is interpreted as false if we just use 2 equals. This is an identity operator, and you can read about it at php.net if you need more information. Just trust me on this. You use this string position or string I position, you've got to look for it being false with 3 equal signs. So if it is false, we didn't find it, and I just put a comment there. So let's fall down if we did find it. Now if we did, The next PHP function I'm introducing you to is the substring function, and it's spelled substr. Now what we do is we look at the string. This is member formatted. We got rid of the colon. And now what I want to do is I'm saying start in the first position, that's position 0, and go all the way up to where I found the hyphen. Let's go back here. Where it found the hyphen here, put it in $POS. So that means for a length of POS or $POS. So it's going to just return the string without the hyphen. Now there might be some spaces in there still. So I'm going to run a trim on it. Remember, trim gets rid of spaces or any white space really before or after what's in member formatted. It'll look at it and just get rid of trailing or leading white space or spaces. And then again, I just put it right back into the same variable name. So now that I've got just the person's name in there, I've gotten rid of all the other stuff I don't want to be concerned with. Now I'm going to look at this to see if it contains the field that I entered in the form. We put that in $find name, if you may remember. So I'm going to look at this, and if I get a hit, it's the same thing. I'm either going to return false into $position 2, or I'm going to have the position in the string where it starts, 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. So again, equal, 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 false, not found. Otherwise, I found it. Cool. And I just printed it out. So that's how this works. This is very powerful for manipulating strings and for getting parts of strings. And so this ends the lesson on finding text within other text.